Alrighty, could you see my screen? All right, so I am here from the National Astronomical Research Institute of Thailand, Deputy Director Ripur Chopakan here to invite you all to Chiang Mai, Thailand in 2026 for the IPS conference, Protecting the Future into the Next Century of Planetarium. And here is our planetarium in Chiang Mai, actually. 160-seater that we've been operating at our headquarters. So the National Astronomical Research Institute of Thailand has been established in 2009. The total staff is currently just below 300, with 60 people, men and women, dedicated to outreach full-time. We are an astronomy research institute with the goal of using astronomy as a challenge to drive human capacity and technology development, especially in an emerging economy like Thailand. And with that, so we use astronomy research as the ultimate goal and develop technology in-house, develop the human capacity in-house in order to support that. We would transfer that technologies and also collaborate with partners worldwide. But what really sustained our effort, the critical component here, is the astronomy outreach, because the awareness of the society, especially in our situation, the support, the public support of astronomy research is very vital for our existence. That's why, as the National Institute for Astronomy, we're investing strongly and in a sustained manner in the past 14 years in astronomy outreach. The NARIT operates the infrastructures both within Thailand and globally through robotic operations. This is our headquarters in Chiang Mai, and the planetarium is the biggest building. Planetarium and exhibition is the biggest component of our headquarters here, because for us, planetarium is not just a place, but rather a nucleus where all the outreach activities are built upon. So this is the philosophy that we approach the planetarium here. The planetarium software were developed in-house with the collaboration of our astronomers, software engineers, and programmers, and outreach officers who use them on a daily basis in order to optimize this for an actual planetarium operation. The software gets updated every week with new contents, and we're planning to make the software available for everyone for free, actually. So we also have these regional observatories around Thailand. So these are facilities dedicated to serving the public in Chiang Mai, Pisonolo, Khon Kaen, Nakhon Ratchasima, Cha Cheong Sao, and in the south in Songkhla. And this is the planetarium software that we're developing in-house. We also developed with it as a collaboration between our researchers and outreach officers, exhibits that are very low cost and are readily reproducible, readily disseminable to other users worldwide. The observatory that is right in the headquarters, which will be open to participants of and their family joining us, is a small telescope with a large area for astronomy outreach. So this is a small observatory dedicated to public viewing right in our headquarters. So this is an example of the astronomy public night that we organize for everyone, walk in, all free. So the NARIT has been pioneering the affordable planetarium software to be licensed for free, and also the dome that are DIY to maximize the reach of these planetarium technologies by developing them in-house. And also we had a very extensive outreach program with 60 staff full-time at 5 observatories nationwide. our visitorships to these facilities exceeds 500,000 visitors per year, with more than 600,000 Facebook followers in our page, which are producing materials all in Thai. We have also distributed more than 560 schools in Thailand, the 10-inch Dobsonian telescopes, and also to Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar. So in the past 14 years, we have organized workshops and teacher trainings within Thailand and our surrounding countries to more than 5,000 teachers so far. And also the latest development is the DIY paper planetarium that we have distributed to schools. So we are trying to make these materials and model available to other emerging economies in order for them to also use astronomy as a core strategy to drive their capacity and also technology and quality of life. So we call this the narrative outreach model. As in the venue of the conference that we are proposing is the Empress Convention Center right in Chiang Mai, in the middle of thousands of hotel rooms. Chiang Mai is a major tourism hub in the northern Thailand, and also the our own planetarium at our headquarters. Thailand is accessible to large numbers of countries, visa-free or visa on arrival. And if you need visa to come to Thailand, we are standing by to work with our diplomatic mission wherever you are to facilitate that and make that happen. We have done that before previously. Chiang Mai is connected by Chiang Mai International Airport, about 25 minutes from our headquarters, about 15 minutes from the venue. And also many modes of transportation that are also has lower carbon footprint. We are in the middle of a very large tourism city in Thailand with a very large range of available hotels from sub $20 per night to more than, well, very fancy hotels. And also to accommodate any special needs, the NARIT with the headquarters there will have the resources to accommodate any request from participants. Also, we are planning to support through the International Training Center for Astronomy participant from who are in need of travel grants. We are planning to set aside the budget for particularly for this as well. Also, excursion to our facilities in within 1.5 hours from the headquarters, and also city center of Chiang Mai is the National Observatory in the optical and also radio astronomy. We were planning to also run as a parallel session to up to 30 participants, which we will, the workshop on DIY planetarium workshop, which we will also give one kit to each participant. Registration fee will be for early bird members will be of the order of $450 without sponsorship. So we are planning to bring this number down and also to support participants who are in need of travel and registration assistance. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Waipu, and thank you, NARIT members. So today's last presenter is U.S. Space and Rocket Center. We have a video from them.
On behalf of the Intuitive Planetarium and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, I am so very excited to share our bid to host IPS 2026 in Rocket City, USA, Huntsville, Alabama. We would like to introduce you to who and what we are.
We are many things here at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. We are an official NASA Visitor Center, TVA Visitor Center, and one of the largest Smithsonian affiliates. But we're so much more than that. As a home of Space Camp and one of the world's largest space museums, we are a place of education where people discover who they are and what they want to do in their careers. To put it plainly, we aim to inspire the spirit of discovery in all who visit through education and immersive engagement. This is done by preserving our historic artifacts, providing excellent guest experiences, out-of-this-world camp programs, and impactful planetarium shows that help foster lifelong learning in visitors. Located in Huntsville, Alabama, we are the neighbor of NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, the U.S. Army's Redstone Arsenal, and Cummings Research Park, one of the largest research parks in the nation. Their work earned Huntsville the nickname Rocket City, USA. And as you can tell from the rocket above me, nothing symbolizes Rocket City more than us here at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Our significance to the Huntsville community has often found us at the hub of community engagements in not just North Alabama, but the entire state. We have long given businesses local, national, and international a way to connect with citizens from all over the world through sponsorship opportunities and partnerships.
There's no better place to expose our future leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs than an institution here in Huntsville, Alabama that's got a space and rocket center for sure, has an aviation program, but it has a robotics program, a cyber program. I mean, these are all the disciplines of tomorrow.
Our reach is global. Guests come year-round to experience what we have to offer here in Alabama. When they arrive, they're often changed by their experience at the Rocket Center. But not just children, adults too. Take a listen.
It's like better than Disneyland. It's taught me new things. It showed me new things.
I've learned so much about rocketry history and space history. Just being able to have that experience and the knowledge will really just prepare us.
The impact we have here really does change the course of their lives. Look no further than our Space Camp alumni, many of whom now work in the aerospace and defense industries. Some are even astronauts themselves, who have taken the lessons they learned here with them to outer space.
Space Camp was an amazing experience for me. Going there just sealed the deal for me of what I wanted to do with my life.
The Intuitive Planetarium is the newest feature of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and we opened our doors February 28, 2019. The 21-meter NanoSeam dome features an ENS Digistar 7 system, which is fit for about 250 guests. The Intuitive Planetarium team creates live and interactive programs in-house that feature real-time, immersive data visualizations. Our team is proud to produce and offer this original content at a blistering rate, staying up to date with the latest astronomical discoveries and even working with NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center to produce special events. Recently, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center was the host venue for the highly successful SEPA-WAC conference, and we've set our sets higher. The Intuitive Planetarium and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center are thrilled at the opportunity to welcome the greater planetarium community for IPS in 2026.
With tens of thousands space campers each year, our campus is built to accommodate large groups of people. Space Camp continues to grow as the new Space Camp Operations building is under construction and is set to open in the spring of 2023. This building will feature a 1,000-seat auditorium and a state-of-the-art video wall projection system. Imagine a keynote speaker where the entire delegation can be on campus in the same place. Huntsville is home to a thriving cyber and aerospace industry. The Rocket Center and the Intuitive Planetarium are thankful to have a strong base of support from local companies. Given a conservative budget with modest vendor support, both from planetarium vendors and local sponsorships, we project a registration fee of no more than $450 for regular attendees. And we expect an attendance of at least 600, although we'd like to make 2026 the biggest IPS ever. Our proposed conference dates are October 4th through the 9th, 2026. We recognize this is a little later in the year than usual. By hosting the conference in early autumn, we can actually curtain off the entire Rocket Center campus specifically for this conference, which provides full use of our campus venues and creates the best overall experience for attendees. Hosting in October also has the added benefit of beautiful Alabama autumn weather. And these dates were further chosen so as not to conflict with any major religious celebrations or observances.
Hosting everything on one campus gives us greater control and flexibility of conference operations. This translates to a smoother and more cost-effective experience for attendees. Not having to rely on other venues gives us the freedom to be in complete control of schedules, event spaces, and transportation, allowing us to ensure the best possible conference experience. The reduced transportation time and larger sessions also provides the opportunity for increased time to network with one another. Speaking of larger sessions, with multiple large auditoriums on campus, we can minimize the need for concurrent sessions. These venues include the National Geographic Theater, which holds 350, Discovery Theater holding 100, our Intuitive Planetarium holding 250, and the already mentioned 1,000-seat auditorium in the new Space Camp building. Having a hotel on campus will give attendees the ability to come and go as they please and minimizes transportation costs. Within a 3-mile radius of the Rocket Center are over 1,000 hotel rooms. Shuttles will be available to transport attendees around campus and to nearby hotels, equipped for wheelchair access as well. As far as getting to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, the Huntsville International Airport is only a 10-minute drive away.
The Rocket Center is currently renovating its Rocket Park, which will feature a brand new amphitheater. The Redstone family of rockets, the restored Pathfinder shuttle stack, and of course the iconic Saturn V rocket, which is the only vertical replica in the world. Picture an opening reception amongst these amazing artifacts while enjoying Alabama's beautiful October weather. And for the closing gala, dine underneath the National Historic Landmark Saturn V rocket in our Saturn V hall. Where else can you see a moon rock and the Apollo 16 command module while mingling with astronauts and the engineers that designed all the artifacts around you?
Of course, this conference is not all business. For those who want to explore Huntsville, the Rocket Center is uniquely situated to provide access to our city. We are a 10-minute drive from downtown Huntsville and only 5 minutes from 2 popular outdoor dining and leisure spaces. All arts and entertainment districts, museums, botanical gardens, and many locally owned restaurants are within 15 minutes of the Rocket Center. These short distances will save on costs and give conference attendees more time to enjoy our city. For our more outdoorsy folks, Huntsville is fortunately located at the base of a mountain, so we do have some pretty incredible natural land features. Huntsville is a family-friendly city, but during the week of the conference, we will be able to run week-long space camp programs exclusively for the children of conference attendees, with day camp options as well. Once the conference is over, we would open up our camp simulators and missions for adult and family attendees at our post-conference space camp option so that you too could train like an astronaut. There is something for everyone in the Rocket City.
We strongly believe that Huntsville, Alabama is the ideal place to host the International Planetarium Society Conference in 2026. The city of Huntsville is already well prepared to host an international gathering with a wide breadth of activities, museums, restaurants, hotels, and outdoor spaces. Attracting space enthusiasts from around the world, the Rocket City is expanding and innovating every day. Our team at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center would like to offer our facilities to provide a welcoming environment for all individuals in which all dome and meeting sites are located on a singular campus in the heart of our city. By bringing IPS to Huntsville, we hope to increase recognition and participation of planetariums among the space industry. The Intuitive Planetarium will allow vendors and delegates to share their content on a state-of-the-art system, which we hope will be newly renovated in time for autumn 2026. On behalf of the Intuitive Planetarium and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, home of Space Camp, we are thankful for the opportunity to be considered for the host site of IPS 2026.
Thank you, U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Thank you, three bidders, for joining us and wonderful presentations. Please consider it yourself and let the board members of each region know your wishes and questions about the venue of IPS 2026. Thank you again, three leaders. Okay, so let's move on to the next topics. The next secretary reports from Patty Seaton. Please, Patty.
Madam President, Patty is not yet in the Zoom room.
Okay, all right. Is she coming? Will come join this meeting today?
I believe so. I texted her a few moments ago just to check in.
Right. So then we will change topics. So I will we will treasurer's report first. Mike.
Excellent. Thank you, Madam President. Mr. President-elect, may I share my screen? Thank you. All right. All right. Good day, everyone. My name is Mike Smale. I'm the current IPS treasurer, and I wanted to share a financial report, sort of a financial and a membership report with all of you about what IPS has been up to financially for the last year, and also looking forward a little bit. So first things first, a little bit of old news from the last year. As Calvary mentioned earlier, and as you all know, we had to cancel the IPS 2022 conference that had been scheduled for St. Petersburg, Russia. This has a significant financial impact on the organization. As conference years, we traditionally see higher membership rates, higher spending on advertisements, and also in years when there are conference excesses, revenue excesses, a portion of that money comes back to IPS. So much of the revenue that we were budgeted to receive this year, we did not. As a result of that conference cancellation, we moved the annual board meeting that usually precedes the conference to October, took place 2 weeks ago, and we moved the general meeting of the membership to now and to the internet. As a result of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, we also offered free memberships. We launched, rapidly spun up and launched a program to offer free memberships to Ukrainian planetariums. A couple other notes. We finalized the 2020 to 2021 Irkutsk peer-to-peer program. This is a program where we received money from the Eurasia Foundation to fund collaborative educational opportunities between planetariums in the United States and Russia. There were a number of people in this meeting involved with various sort of not quite dome cast, but sort of co-located screenings and question and answer sessions, telescope sessions, and it was quite a successful program. And we basically just finished up all the accounting and the reporting in regards to that program. We made some minor changes to our bank accounts to generate a little bit more interest and also reduce fees. We're still working through the details of that, but it is my hope that starting next year, we will be able to reduce or eliminate the bank transfer fee. So sometimes members, particularly outside of the United States, choose to pay their membership dues or sponsorship or planetarian ad purchases by bank transfer. We currently have to charge an extra fee for that. And I'm hopeful that we'll be able to significantly reduce, if not completely eliminate that fee, saving money for our members around the world. We also had a slight increase in cost. We have a Google Workspace that we use to manage all of our sort of institutional document storage and email addresses for the officers, things like that. We upgraded it a little bit to be able to have a little bit more storage space. So we are storing trailer video and audio files for the Centennial, which you'll hear more about later. We're now storing those on our Google Workspace as well. So that's the old news. New news. Some exciting things to look forward to. Starting next year, IPS as an organization will be funding over $20,000 in grants and prizes tied directly to the centennial. And those awards, those grants, those prizes will be only available for IPS members. Another exciting new membership offer that we firmed up at the board meeting a few weeks ago. Any first-time IPS member who joins during the centennial, so who joins after January 1st, 2023, will have their normally one-year membership extended all the way to the end of the centennial, May of 2025. Now, this is only applicable to first-time members, and it's only applicable to single-person membership categories. So this will not apply to corporate or institutional memberships. And then lastly, taking advantage of the fact that several of the officers and board members will already be at next summer's U.S. National Planetarium Conference, and in an effort to keep costs down and keep basically putting our money back in the hands of our members, we will be having our annual board meeting next June at the Stars for All U.S. Planetarium Conference, which will be at Bays Mountain Park and Planetarium in northeastern Tennessee. All right, next up, I'd like to follow a little bit of sort of just a financial overview of our financial situation. So this is a big slide here. So the way this goes is this is to show sort of our historical expenses and our income from year to year. So you can see the expenses are in pinkish red, the income is in blue. Actually, before we get into the graph, I'd like to actually focus on the right side of the screen. So about 99% of our income as an organization comes from member dues and from ads in the planetarium, ads in our journal. That is the overwhelming majority of all of our income. We get small amounts of income in the form of donations, interest earned on accounts, publication royalties, but overwhelmingly, the money that we come in comes from the support of all of our membership, the support from all of you, and then also from sponsors who run ads in the journal. And then our expenses, a significant expense is printing and postage of the planetarium. That's an expense that we've actually brought down over the last 2 years with changing to a less expensive print house. We pay fees to transfer funds whether it's between credit cards, whether it's wire transfers, PayPal. We have some costs for our online presence to maintain our website, to maintain our Zoom account so we can have meetings like this. We also pay a fee to, we have Managing Matters, who's the association management company who works with us and provides some organizational strategy and actually a lot of exciting things that we'll be tapping into over the next year and a half for the centennial. And then some other fees for we have a certified public accountant look over all of our funds and file our taxes for us, because that's probably not something you want me doing. And then we also maintain directors and officers insurance policy on our directors, on our officers. So anyways, now jumping back over to the sort of the graph over time, you'll see there's little bits of patterns emerge. Generally, historically, in conference years, those even numbered years, we have higher revenue, higher income, and normally significantly more than our expenses. But in some of those odd numbered years, our expenses trended over our income, and there's a variety of reasons for that, which if you're curious about, I'm happy to talk about offline or get into after the fact. But what's important is knowing the global pandemic, the events over the past few years, and the canceling of 2 conferences in 2020 in Edmonton, 2022 in St. Petersburg. You'll see that our income is down, but also our expenses have stayed down as well. So we've been able to lower our costs and preserve income. I should also note this FY22 is not complete. Our fiscal year goes January to December, so we will have a sort of end of year audit. Those expenses and income will go up a little bit between now and the end of the year. For example, we'll have costs from the board meeting 2 weeks ago that still will get factored into this. So my prediction is that for the end of FY22, we'll end up at about a break even, maybe ever so slightly higher expense than income, but pretty even. And then getting into just a quick look at sort of total account balances. We keep our money in sort of 3 pots. We have checking and money market accounts through Bank of America. We also have a PayPal account that was started a few years ago and has become a wildly popular option for members, especially internationally, especially outside of the United States. And then we have a variety of sort of educational funds or sub-accounts that are funded out of these sources as well. And as you can see, again, we've been able to basically increase our sort of total equity or total funds over the past couple of years. Because again, even though we haven't had the big expenses, we've trimmed down on what we've been the amount we've been allocating to managing matters. We've been keeping costs down by having online meetings, and this is a big part of what's driving us to really institutionally go all in on the centennial and fund those grants. The amount we talked about, that's really just a start. We're looking at future plans to, again, maintain enough money to keep the organization healthy, but also to put as much of our money and our resources back into our membership, back into all of you as we possibly can. Speaking of members, IPS, as of about 2 weeks ago, had 478 members. I can say this number has gone up by 1 because we got a new membership from an institution in Romania that came in a couple days ago. So technically 479. You can see the sort of the continental breakdown there. And then we also have a variety of different types of memberships as well. We have hinted at that earlier. We have institutional memberships for museums, large facilities, corporate memberships for sponsors. Overwhelmingly, our most popular, our most used membership category is the individual membership, which is just a single membership for a single person, a single individual. We do also have the employee of corporate institutional membership. So if you work for a facility who is an institutional member or a corporate member of IPS, you can get individual membership benefits at a slightly lower rate. So we have a handful of folks, I am one of them, who takes advantage of that. And then how do those memberships look overall? Again, if you kind of look at this carefully, you can see in 2016 and 2018 a little bit of a bump in those conference years, which again, we traditionally see. We have our membership goes up in conference years so that folks, because again, you have to be an IPS member to attend the IPS conference, and then it comes down a little bit in off-conference years. And then through the pandemic, we stayed fairly level. There's been a drop off this year, which you can see at the end. But again, this is all part of the push and why we're so excited about future possibilities and being able to really grow membership and grow the field during the centennial. So that's what I had. Again, if there are any, if you have any additional questions, I'm only on a single screen, so I'll check the chat after I finish here. You can always email me directly, treasurer@ips-planetarium.org, and I'd love to talk to you more. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mike. So please let officers know if you have any questions. So is there a party? Not yet?
Not yet, but we are prepared for the elections update.
All right. So then next elections, we've moved on election update. We have video presentation from Martin George, right?
Hi, I'm Martin George. I'm chair of the IPS Election Committee. I'm sorry I can't be with you today. Currently, I'll be on a flight over the Pacific. This message was recorded a few days ago. As you know, there are 2 elections taking place for IPS this year. One election for officers and another election at the same time for board members based on continental zones. In the officer election, we have 2 candidates standing for the position of IPS President-elect and 1 each for Executive Secretary and Treasurer. All IPS members worldwide are asked to vote in these officer elections, including indicating approval for those standing unopposed. We have board member candidates standing in 5 of the 6 continental zones, 1 each in Asia and Africa, 2 each in Europe and North America, and 3 in Oceania. If you're in one of those zones, we ask that you vote for a candidate who will represent your zone for the next 3 years. Even in cases where there is only 1 member standing, we ask that you vote to give that member a mandate. Voting is done easily on the IPS website. We're currently nearly halfway through the voting period, which will end on December the 2nd at 12 hours Universal Time. As I speak to you now, only 70 members have voted in the officer elections and 57 for continent-based board candidates. In particular, we have had very few votes from Asia. On behalf of the IPS Election Committee, thank you to everyone who's already voted. If you've not yet voted, please do so on the IPS website after reading the candidate statements. This is your chance to have a say in the governance of IPS. You'll be hearing from me again soon. I shall be sending out email reminders over the next few weeks.
Thank you, Martin. So, yeah, we have already set up on IPS website. Please, everyone, both officers and board members elections. All right, and so please move on. All right, so Anna, so if you are okay,
hi, I'm here.
Please, yeah, IPS 2024 conference update. Anna Green, please.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Michael is going to share my PowerPoint for me. I'm having some connection issues today, so thank you for that, Mr. President-elect. So we are here. My President Tim Florian Horn is here today as well. So on behalf of Tim and Stefan Hamisch from the Zeitplanetarium Jena, we are cordially inviting you to IPS 2024 in Berlin and Jena. So we can move to the next slide, please. The currently planned conference dates are June 16th through 20th, with post-conference activities June 12th through 16th. And sorry, if I said post, I meant pre. I'm a little jet lagged. I just got back to Europe last night, so I apologize. Post-conference activities are the 21st and 22nd of June, and we'll touch on those dates a little bit more a little bit later in the presentation. Pre and post-conference will be outside of Berlin. The conference itself will be in Berlin. I don't expect you to read all this. This is just a little bit of a reminder of what Jena has to offer in their planetarium. You're seeing a picture of the lovely Zeitplanetarium Jena. Full dome, optimic, all available, as well as 261 seats. This is where we will be having the Full Dome Festival. So Jena, of course, had the very first Full Dome Festival, and they are changing the dates to have that available for the IPS attendees. So there will also be a little bit of extra going on, extra special activities with that Full Dome Festival, since it is also part of the centennial year. So we invite you all, especially if you've never been to the Full Dome Festival. It's a really cool event, and we highly recommend you come a little bit earlier to enjoy that as well in Jena. We will also be having just a little bit more of a look at the Planetarium Jena with its Bauerfeld restaurant. If you don't know who Bauerfeld is, he's pretty important to the planetarium community as well. So take a look into him, or you can ask me offline about him and I will nerd out with you about that. But yes, the Zeitplanetarium Jena has lots of room for all of the activities. Jena is also a beautiful city with much to offer in terms of hiking if you are into being outdoors. There's also multiple museums, and it's a larger city with a small traditional German feel to it. So if you're looking for that feel that you get from seeing movies set in Germany or whatever it may be, especially if you've never been to Germany before to experience it, Jena will give you that small town feeling with all the amenities of a larger town. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 there. Moving forward, as I mentioned, the conference will be in beautiful Berlin. Berlin has stolen my heart. I want everybody to experience it and to come see it. So I hope you'll join us. If we move on, a large chunk of the conference will be happening in the Zeiss Großplanetarium. It is one of our 3 sites. And as you can see, it's not just the largest planetarium in Berlin with a 23-meter dome. We also have a cinema as well that we will be using. It has 160-seat capacity. We will be able to host all of the breakout sessions here as well as dome activities. We'll also be using our lobby. We are currently putting in a restaurant as well. So catering will be had on site too. Next slide. A little bit of a look at our dome. It is the most modern in Europe, and you will be able to experience that as well. What you're seeing here is a current view of the Planetarium am Insulaner. This is our 2nd largest dome in Berlin, 20 meters. We had originally told you all that we would be inviting you to attend sessions here as well. However, thanks to, you may have heard that we had a pandemic, and thanks to that, unfortunately, our plans to renovate have been pushed back, and unfortunately, it looks like it probably won't be open in time for the conference. We still want you to experience, however, and so all of our mid-conference tours will include a behind-the-scenes construction site tour of the Planetarium am Insulaner. So we're really excited to show it to you in process of becoming a world-class education facility. So. The Planetarium am Insulaner is also home to the Wilhelm Förster Sternwarte, or observatory, and you'll be able to take a peek at all that we have to offer there, including the historic Bamberg refractor. You're viewing one of my favorite sites, and that is the Archenhold Sternwarte, or the Archenhold Observatory. It is Germany's oldest public observatory. It also is home to the longest refracting telescope in the world, affectionately referred to as the Sky Cannon, as it does look a little bit like a cannon, but it is used for observations naturally. We also have a couple other telescopes on site for observations, but this is where we are talking about hosting our gala now. We would love to invite you to come and experience the historic site. Of course, you can go on tours. We also have our Zeiss Kleinplanetarium, the small planetarium there as well, which is just such a sweet location that I want you all to see as well. But we will be having dancing, merriment, fellowship, all that you could hope for and more at this historic location, including where Einstein gave his very first public address on relativity in Berlin. So come step where Einstein stepped. We will be pairing with Haus Zenner, which is literally directly across the street from the observatory for the dinner portion. But as I mentioned, all frivolity and networking and dancing will take place with bars, of course, on site at the Archenhold Observatory. So you can see on the upper right is Haus Zenner, and then of course in the foreground is the observatory itself. So you can see they are right by each other. We do have a couple challenges that have popped up since we won our bid, namely that the Euromeisterschaft, the Euro Cup, is going to be held in Germany at the exact same time as the conference. So if you really like football, which is its proper name, or soccer if you're American, it is an opportunity for you to enjoy both your passions of space and football. However, this is posing a couple of challenges. That being said, I've listed out the schedule of when we've planned for the conference to take place versus when the Euromeisterschaft has planned for things to take place. And as you can see, there's a few points where there may be some overlap, which means that things could get tight with hotels. But overall, we lucked out, and it looks like it shouldn't be too bad of a situation. Due to this, however, and also the inflation inflation, of course, that we are all experiencing around the world right now, we are looking into getting second offers from conference centers, conference hotels. This may include shifting dates slightly, so don't book your tickets yet, because overall, our primary concern is the cost to those of you attending. We want you to come. You can see, obviously I'm not a native German, but Germany is my home. I love this place so much that I believe all of you should come and visit. And I want you all to be able to come and visit. So right now we're still sticking by what our projected participant costs are. They may have to change ever so slightly. It is our goal to keep them as low as possible, as I said, which means that we're looking at an early bird member cost of 375 euros, might get a little higher, not much more. We still plan to keep our student level as well. That's never been, or at least in my time in IPS, that has not been done. We find it extremely important that students be able to attend. Therefore, we're offering them a lower registration cost. We also have the new institutional member for any institutional group that has never been an IPS member before and becomes one before the next conference. We're offering a discounted rate. We're also looking at seeing what we can do to make the gala less expensive or erase the cost entirely. So again, our goal is to keep these costs absolutely as low as possible for you. And we're doing the extra work to make that happen. So as soon as we have any updates, of course, those will be passed on to you. But know that it is our goal to make it so that you all can attend IPS 2024 in Berlin and Jena. We hope to see you there. We look forward to being united with everyone again under the sky. And until then, bis bald.
So we are looking forward to meeting everyone at IPS 2024 in Germany. Anna, thank you very much for your updates. If you have any questions, please send us an email. And all right. I can't see John Hare.
Michael has the presentation from John.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Michael.
Madam
Please.
President?
Yes.
John Herod asked me to make some short comments to introduce that video. So I just wanted to say briefly, I think it's helpful to remember that someday each one of us will appear on that list. And as we remember our colleagues and remember their passion, remember what they did, I recall the statement that Steve Jobs made: your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Have the courage to follow your own heart and intuition. So I would encourage all of us to follow the example of these colleagues and friends who did exactly that followed their heart and their intuition.
Thank you, Dave. So please in mind that we have spent a lot of time with so many wonderful friends. We pray for the souls. All right, so shall we move on next topics? Is there Bjorn being here? Okay, so please, your update, please.
Hello. Difficult to set the right tone after thinking about our missed
I'm
colleagues.
sorry.
Sorry?
Sorry, after memorial part, so please move.
Well, I'm here to give a short update on the centennial anniversary of the planetarium's celebrations. So looking back as we just did, but even further, and then looking ahead into the future of planetariums. Just a very short update. We had a very productive meeting of the centennial group, or rather of all IPS members who could join us on October 14th, online meeting, in which we presented in detail what we are preparing. And this video, this meeting, the recording of this meeting is available online on the IPS YouTube channel and will be posted shortly, or has just been posted, I guess. Mr. President-elect, did the email go out?
The email will be going out shortly after the meeting, but we'll be putting that in the chat as well.
Thank you. So you can easily get up to speed about the centennial by having a look at that video. It is a long recording of that meeting, but you can jump to the individual parts that are of interest to you. And let me now briefly share my screen to give a very short update on this. Hold on a second. So, and with this, let me share my screen. Hope that works out. Not now. Sorry. Here we go. I guess you can see my first slide. So we are looking back at the anniversary of the invention of the first star projector and the opening of the first planetarium, which happened almost a year ago. We are now less than a year away from the first key date. But we are not looking at just those events, but at everything that happened ever since in our community. The opening of planetariums in other countries, the enrichment of the field by other companies, and many other activities that planetariums do nowadays and have been doing for a long time already. So this is not just about the events in 1923, although the key date, of course, is what we now have in focus for the anniversary. It will be celebrated between October 23 and May 25, and it will not be a just celebration of history, patting our shoulders, saying to ourselves we did good in the last 100 years, which certainly is true, but looking ahead and using this occasion as a marketing device for planetariums. Basically using this as an opportunity to reach everyone who is not yet aware of what amazing facilities planetariums are. There are so many people out there not yet knowing what planetariums could offer them, and we want to use the anniversary to create attention for planetariums. This is the main motivation, and this is the base of what we are preparing. With the slogan, "The stars were just the beginning," we want to convey just this. Yes, everybody knows planetariums are about stars, even those who don't regularly visit one, but planetariums are so much more, and this is what we want to convey during these centennial celebrations. We have already a lot of support for this, so this is one news item that, of course, IPS and some affiliates, especially GDP, have provided funding and put a lot of work into the projects already. We have received support from ZEISS and from some key locations in Germany where the opening ceremony will take place in 1 year minus 8 days. So we are already supported there, but other actors in our field, other vendors are also already supporting us, and we are still asking for more support. So quite recently, company RSA Cosmos has offered their support for the centennial, for which I'm very thankful, and this will be fleshed out in the next weeks. And we are going to approach shortly all of you, if you are a vendor active in the field, also to offer you to work with us on this. We have now, as one other item of news, a trailer video for the centennial available. Also in full dome, also in full dome format to be downloaded from a link on the Centennial website. And this video is not just celebrating the Centennial, but actually, as I just said, advertising planetariums in general. We are preparing a planetarium emoji to hopefully be available by the Centennial on all mobile and other devices. So still discussing the details of that layout. And if you're interested in working on this with us, please get in touch with me. And the very latest news is that we have now a patron for the Centennial. A German president, German ceremonial head of state, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, will be the patron of the Centennial. We are very excited about this. This will also help us get much more support in the region here. In Europe, and this, however, is just one person and not representative of all communities that we want to reach. So we are not looking at one patron, but at one patron and many ambassadors of the Centennial, persons from all walks of life, prominent persons to represent the Centennial to their communities. And we already have our first ambassador, which is famous SETI scientist Jill Tarter, who will support us with our plans. And we are now looking for more ambassadors, and many names have been voiced. We are already in contact with Brian May to support us as an ambassador of the Centennial. And quite recently, from within IPS was brought up the name Kunal Nayyar as a possible additional patron, well-known actor from the Big Bang Theory series. And so with this, I'd like to ask all of you who are now listening, any one of you has a contact to him, please let me know and please get in touch with me. This is another person we want to reach out to. A new project that, well, the opening ceremony on October 21st next year is already being prepared in its details, and we will keep you informed about that. The next key event of the Centennial that we want to focus on now is the annual Day of Planetariums, which we plan to hold from the beginning of the Centennial every year on May 7th, the anniversary of the opening of the first planetariums. So the 99th birthday of planetariums in 2024 and the 100th, of course, in 2025. This is the next thing we're going to focus on. And for this, we are looking to create a global celebration in as many planetariums as possible. And to enable this, we have just launched during the October 14th meeting a call for proposals to hand out grants for locally developed projects for the Centennial. And with this, I want to stop my screen share and switch my screen share to my browser window to have with you a brief look at the Centennial website, which has been expanded and improved. And I guess this is the correct page. I guess you can see now. Sorry, I have some screen problems. I guess you can see now the website. And let me call up here the starting page to give you an impression. So this is the Centennial website as it looks now, and as it is currently still being expanded. But one key item here is this area about the individual projects of the Centennial. And this is where you can find all information once products are released, like the Full Dome show that we are preparing, like the book that is being prepared. All the relevant information and order forms and so on will be on the respective page. Right now, we released here on October 14th a call for submissions on a contest to create arts posters, to create Full Dome short clips, and to submit proposals for such grants for locally presented projects. And this I want to show you briefly. So I go to this site, contest for local projects. Guilherme Marangello from Brazil is in charge of this project. And we have here in the news section of this project, the submission details and the submission guidelines. So please have a look at this. And if you can prepare a project or materials for the anniversary of planetariums, then please apply for one of these grants that are financed by IPS itself. Similarly, we are preparing an art and design contest to create posters for the Centennial. Even this, also this can be found here in that respective project news area. So please go to the site of that, the page of that project here under projects, and in this case then poster contest, and find here the submission guidelines and the submission form. Same with the latest one that I want to mention, another contest, also with prizes, first, second, and third prize for these two contests, financed by IPS to register and then submit your submission, your artwork here by September 1st next year. There are many more projects that we are working on. For some of those, we are still looking for support. One of them, for example, is the planetarium emoji, as I just mentioned. Another is the UNESCO campaign. We are applying within Germany to be recognized as UNESCO cultural, immaterial cultural heritage. And we are preparing to expand this to apply for the planetariums to be on that list on the international level, but require support for this from other countries. So even on this, get in touch with me. And one last call for support, the Centennial Book Project, chaired by Pedro Raposo, formerly at Atla Planetarium, our chief editor, is still looking for additional submissions of items to be pages or sections for this book. So with this, let me go back briefly to my presentation. So we are looking for support in some areas. How can my planetarium, how can your planetarium, all the planetariums in your area participate? Well, download the trailer and present it. That would be great. Would move this forward. There will be an educational package that we will offer along with the planetarium show to be signed up for, to sign up for and receive it also on an individual page on the website. The show, of course. The Day of Planetariums, as I just mentioned it, of course, but even more awesome would be if your planetarium could participate by submitting an entry to one of these contests, or to work with us on those projects which are still being realized, a poster exhibition, dome casting events to be played out in 2024, or the UNESCO campaign that I just mentioned. Final project that I just want to mention, we are collecting video messages from prominent persons, but also from kids, to collect their voices about the planetariums, their opinions about the planetariums, to create from that a roll of comments, a roll of views of the planetariums. And even for that, we still look for submissions on that respective page. And most importantly, if you are from a non-English speaking and non-German speaking country, please have a look at our website, at the Full Dome trailer, and please translate it to your language and let us know let us know if you can create a language version for your area. Much is being prepared already. We have language versions in the works in Italian, in Spanish, in Portuguese, as I think, in Japanese for sure, but there are many languages which are not yet covered, so please get in touch with us for this. You find the for the photo trailer, the details on the Centennial website under trailer for download the texts and all materials to create your own language version. With this, thank you for your attention, and please get in touch with me if you should have any questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Björn. So Planetum Centennial event will be starting in October 2023. So we ask for your participation and cooperation.
Oh yeah, and one final comment. Thanks to everyone on the team who have done so much amazing work to get us until this point. So I cannot name all names, but I've seen some in the room, and I want to say thanks to all those. Daniela Bolz, for example, who was working on the website, or Roswitha Meyer, who was preparing many materials with us. I cannot name all names, but thank you to all of you on the team.
All right. We are very sorry. We missed Patty Sheaton, executive secretary. So, but we finished all of agenda items. So, thank you very much. Thank you for your participation in this general meeting today. So we apologize that Patty Sheaton was unable to attend this meeting. So it's nearly 1:30. So the 2022 general meeting is finished. Okay. So have a nice weekend, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.